aggressive matchup where he has control is Bin's comfort zone. And that is exactly what the Jayce does into Gwen. We're going to see the Toad coming out though. So Wei willing to leave his jungle picks to the next rotation and making sure that Gala and Ming have full safety on this bottom side. And then for LGD, you're actually kind of breathing a bit of a sigh of relief here because you're not really worried too much about having a super aggressive support in this bot lane. Like the Nautilus and the Leona are super nice for engage tools, but like when you've got the Tahm Kench now in the bottom lane, it opens you up to stuff like the Rakan potential, even a Rel potential. We saw Cold bring that out a little bit. We even saw it the other day as well, or yesterday as well, from PP God. So you because you don't have to worry so much about the strength of your lane phase, you can go for some of these like B tier engaged supports that are still pretty strong.
Certainly can. Ming, I remember Ming playing this Tahm Kench against Weibo. It was devastating. He played such a good job and did so much to protect Gala. Xiaohu having his Twisted Fate banned away from him here by LGD. They want to deny some of that proactivity in the mid lane, but that is now 4 mid lane bans coming out across this draft so far. We're going to start to see some interesting stuff. The Ahri's still on the table though. I wouldn't be surprised to see a ban on towards that. If I'm LGD right now with the LeBlanc already taken off the board, I'm not... Either you want to blind pick the Ahri or you want to ban it.
Yeah, I'm trying to think like what the plan is here, because you still kind of need that engage tool on RNG side. So I feel like Ahri would be your best bet because she's kind of the other... Okay, we're not going to get it, but Ahri's been kind of the one mid lane pick, I'd say, alongside Vex, where we kind of see them go, oh, this is the pseudo engage tool we can use, where Ahri like flies yourself in. You got the Everfrost into a charm that can try and set up, or you've got the Vex, you can Shadow Surge into the Everfrost, into the CC. I haven't been the biggest fans of those as your single target engage tools though, so that's why I'm kind of surprised to see the Viego ban here. It feels like you're actually going to be looking for something like a Jarvan or something for Wei here, something that can provide that that CC and that engage that you need in these early stages.
Rakan being hovered, this has been a huge priority, and saving that mid lane pickup for last. Wanted to go for counter pick for Jay, and I totally agree with that decision, right? We talked about how Xiaohu versus Jay is going to be maybe the most important matchup across this entire scoreboard. So JinJiao will just go with that Rakan for himself over towards RNG. How are they going to finish this draft out? They need a mid and a jungler. Victor available, Orianna as well. Just looks like Xiaohu's going to play this one safe.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what the plan is. Like, a lot of those side lane pressure points are already gone with the TF gone, the Rise gone, even the Ahri taken off the board. So they are just going to go back towards the Orianna here. So perfectly fine, strong mid laner away now. Going to be going towards the Volibear, trying to see if he can provide some sort of engage and a bit of that early skirmish potential as well. Just being able to set up off the strong lanes that you have now for, bot lane push, top lane push. Even we'll have to see if they can get control of the mid lane, but looks like Jay got a counter pick here with the Zoe, so he should have good control over that mid lane push.
Should. We saw the Zoe, but it's not going to be there. It's going to be the Vex. We talked about Xiaohu being one of the only Vex players in the league, but Jay has brought it out a couple of times himself. A 50% win rate, so a win and a loss so far on the Vex, bringing it out against the Orianna. And Jay is the man in the mid lane that I'm keeping my eyes on. I'm excited to see what he can do against Xiaohu, who's a player who has had some great games, who has been able to influence things for LGD, especially alongside Shadow. This is a very aggressive mid-jungle 2v2 as well that's coming out from Jay and Shadow.
It really is. And not only is it something that LGD can look to play through, it's something that I'm definitely going to be keeping my eyes on when we get towards engagements as well. Because we talked about kind of Vex and Ahri being those two tools that you can use to be the engage situations for your team. Well, Vex certainly feels like she's going to need to be it here. You've crazy long range on RNG's side. If they're able to just play back at range, poke you down, you're going to have a really bad time. So a lot of these team fight engages for LGD are going to be on Jay and JinJiao to try and get access to the Jayce and the Jinx and set up for the rest of LGD to follow.
Certainly try to. A lot of carries on this LGD squad, right? Massive amounts of damage that can come out from them, but only if they can get ahead. Look at scaling on RNG, right? Orianna Jinx with a big Volibear and a Tahm Kench to play Peel. That is some scary team fight later on in the game from RNG. But also, RNG is a squad where they, generally speaking, win their lanes, right? This is a team with a lot of power behind every single name. LGD are going to have their work cut out. They need to win this early game. I can't stress that harder enough. And they need to win if they want to keep their playoffs dreams alive. But that does feel like a distant dream for now, as they're up against RNG, who are fighting for first place in the league and will certainly show no mercy.
When you've got winning top and bot, it opens up a lot of avenues for Way to try and punish LGD. Especially if he can, like, even in the early stages, you punish the fact that Jay is going to try and push in this wave against Xiaohu. There's always the opportunity for RNG to start to get these early leads. But as we pointed out, this isn't a team that tends to go for a lot of early champion kills. Very much focused on those objectives, and having that push in bot and top lends itself towards both the Dragon and the Rift Herald. It's going to be more so about, can Wei make sure Xiaohu has mid priority to enable that lean into those neutral objectives?
See if they can get that mid priority though, because one thing that we've seen with Xiaohu is the way that the matchup should go is not always the way that the matchup does go. Xiaohu is just, you know, he defies expectation, right? He is built different. You're exactly right. But Jay is a player that has been able to have an impact in the lane, has been able to show up in the lane. So I'm hoping we can see a good performance here from the LGD mid laner, and maybe can make things work for himself. But Xiaohu winning these trades so far, this Orianna pick, it's something he's very experienced on.
Just doing a good job to move around and make sure he's not getting hit by the ease from Jay here, and setting up for himself nicely to get that shove in mid. The thing I want to draw attention to in the early stages though is Eric's item stats. Actually going for a cull straight off the bat, still going for a very defensive lane, and just basically saying, well, not defensive, but essentially going, hey, look, we want hands off here. You've got the Tahm Kench here. Chances are you're not going to be able to play super aggressive against me, so I can take this greedier style of build and see if I can make it work. So we'll have to see if Eric is able to kind of get away with this, or if RNG are going to look to punish.
Yeah, they could look to punish. It also kind of gives you a little window into how JinJiao is likely to play this game, right? Because you've got a cull on your Aphelios in that bottom lane. You're playing Rakan. That doesn't line up in terms of playstyles, right? This Rakan doesn't want to be in the bottom lane. He wants to roam around. Expect to see JinJiao trying to influence the other lanes around the map, or hopefully at very least, alongside Shadow, alongside Jade. There's a lot of potential aggression that can come out from this little three-man squad.
You just have to be very careful as JinJiao when you're doing that, because although Tahm Kench isn't the traditional engage tool, that W can still do a lot and can dive.
Oh no, Shadow has just been one comboed by Wei. Has the smite available, is going to use it, but uses it too early, doesn't get it. Oh my, oh, Dagda. Oh, it's already over. I mean, that is about as disastrous as that start could have gone. Not even any contest. Double buffs on Xiaohu.
Yeah. It's a bit of a sad day for Shadow. Just unfortunate running into the Volibear. This is one of the things that Volibear is so good at bringing right now with this press the attack style, is he can just one-shot you so effectively. A ton of damage coming through, and even when you try to trade back on him, it's just so hard. He's got the CC. He's going to have that second proc of the W coming up as well, which gives him a bunch of healing. It's, as you can see, just nasty to try and play against.
Dude, he's a lightning bear. Like, that's just scary in of itself. Like, which part of this isn't scary? Managing to use that lightning, sink his claws into Shadow, and you know, lightning does create shadows, but it also removes shadows, huh? So, yeah.
I think the big problem is that, like, there's no rhyme for this, right? Like, if it's a black bear, like, if it's black, fight back. If it's brown, lay down. But what do you do? Lightning? What does that rhyme with? How are you supposed to know what to do?
If it's lightning, it's very, very frightening.
Yeah, there we go.
Just like Kung Fu fighting. Shadow moving towards the bottom side of the map as Wei grabbed himself a double scuttle to start things off. Also, was very generous giving the kill over to Xiaohu as well. Wei could have took that kill himself. But that's the kind of player Wei is. He is always that team player, is always setting up his laners. Good to see that, as always, from Wei in the jungle, having an individual advantage. And now with Drake coming up onto the map, wouldn't be surprised to see him just start that one off, right? We saw the very passive start from LGD to start off. In fact, Eric literally resetting as I speak. Xiaohu with priority in the mid lane. It means RNG can quite happily just start this one.
Yeah, and it's not like he's going to struggle to like keep up pace with his camps. Already you can see he's completely cleared out his bot side. He can just look to reset once more, move up towards his top side. Shadow, though, going to see now if he can maybe move in, sniffing that Wayne might be on this dragon. Maybe able to get away, or steal away some of these camps, which would give a little bit more control back towards Shadow, which is going to be quite nice. But Xiaohu, this is something that Xiaohu does a lot, is just blowing his ultimate just to get poke and get control over the mid lane.
Yeah, and also potentially find himself a plate here, because, you know, you always think about ultimates as being saved to try and find kills. Speaking of which, we might have some plays down in this bottom side. Dive comes on through. Ming finds the stun. It's followed up and flashes away. Keeps himself safe with that thick skin. And now Wei trying to escape up the top side here. Actually flash forwards from Eric as he wants some revenge onto the enemy bear. But the Shadow Surge wide from Jay. It won't matter ultimately, or will it? Wei is somehow surviving way longer than he should. Another flash comes out, and LGD lose both of their carries flashes and Fearness's TP and Ghost. That was so much for just a jungler kill.
Oh god, a Bin's gonna get so much control top. I mean, missing that much of those spells. We just picked up Jay. Oh, hang on.
Oh no, no,
he's
no.
okay. I mean, all right, Jay. Look, we're on your side. We think you're good, but that was not a moment to show it.
Yeah, I mean, fair play to Wei as well to dodge everything. Like, some fancy footwork there, but really, not ideal for LGD. I'm trying to word this as nicely as I can, but this is looking brutal already. We expected this to be a somewhat brutal matchup, but I didn't expect it to be brutal in this way, you know, where the players are just getting straight up outplayed.
It's kind of awkward here. JinJiao even having to sit in the mid lane here for Jay. JinJiao not able to land it.
Oh, he doesn't even care. He has no respect for JinJiao whatsoever. Just
Carelessly sidesteps him. Not a worry in the world. My goodness. The recall will be finished off. Ming trying to deny that. I like it from Ming. It's not quite going to work out, but my goodness. This is just RNG completely styling on LGD.
I mean, that's 2 plates already for Xiaohu in the mid lane. I mean, we've got 1 kill apiece for both the mid laners, and you're still looking at a 600 gold lead, well, 700 gold lead even, sorry, for Xiaohu. Like, it's kind of insane how quickly he's taken over, and that's not even including the fact that he had that commit from Fearness down to the bot side, so Bin has got nearly 2 plates for himself, he's got a CS lead for himself, Gala is continuously pushing in his bot side, they've got turret plates for themselves. We talked about the 2 winning side lanes, but Xiaohu, off his own mustard and also just having Wei there to help him, has just been able to take over in this mid lane as well.
Yep, look at the CS leads, right? 10 CS up top, 10 CS in the mid lane as well. Jungle just about even, but with a kill and assist in Wei's pocket. Xiaohu having that first blood, finishing Mercs very early means he can trade very aggressively in that mid lane with the corrupting potion and consistently come out ahead on those ones, but also reduces the CC from Jay. If he's able to land that fear and try and follow it up alongside Shadow, well, Xiaohu will have a little bit more perseverance in those kind of situations. Wei moving up to the top side right here. Fearness has a tower, but Volibear doesn't historically care about towers very much. They're just gonna, I mean, they don't even need to dive the tower. Ult's not necessary here.
Yeah, and this is just Wei having a field day. Like, as a jungler, this is the best feeling in the world. It's like, oh, all 3 of my lanes are winning. Well, you know, I'll walk up, I'll get a little bite of top lane, I'll get a little bit of gold from mid lane. You know, this dragon is up and available, this rift tower is up and available. I'll take it if you insist. This is a wonderful day to be Wei.
It certainly is. Shadow wants a bit of revenge, but will be denied the acceleration gate. Bin, no flash available. Maybe Shadow can cut him off. I don't think so, though. As Wei trying to finish this Herald off. The ward, I think it will be just out of range, but doesn't matter. Shadow's not going to commit. The Herald will be taken. 2 out of 2 neutrals taken by RNG so far. They have a 2,000 gold lead at the 9-minute mark just from lane differences right now. Gala and Ming will back away. It felt like Eric wanted to go aggressive there. He has so many chakrams, but cannot find an opportunity to use them. Just across the board here, RNG finding advantages.
And again, it's kind of how do you try and combat this? You've even got Gala now with a slow push to the bot side here. 30 seconds until the dragon. You can create this massive wave that LGD have to deal with. Then rotate over to get towards the dragon. So you can see Eric and JinJiao trying to see if they can combat that. But Xiaohu still having full control of mid. There's just very little that you can do to actually answer for RNG having control of this river.
I mean, yeah, it's really tough. And the crazy thing is, we already mentioned how strong the LGD mid-jungle 2v2 was, right? That was one of the big things we came into this game saying that's a positive for them. Like, Volibear Orianna is not an aggressive 2v2. It's not a 2v2 that you would expect to win the mid matchup. But when Shadow got caught out in Pixel Brush right off the bat, first blood given over to Xiaohu, well, the matchup in terms of the champions barely matters anymore as Ming pulls Gala out to safety. That is the pain that is laning against Tahm Kench, but just feels like that advantage, that window of opportunity for LGD was just eradicated by RNG, and now Shockwave under this tower once more as Jay whiffs a second Shadow Surge for the game. This Wei Xiaohu combo, the pressure they are putting on is just so difficult for Shadow and Jay to deal with.
Yeah, there's just Xiaohu playing this beautifully. Like, having so much control over the Orianna, using the kit wonderfully to actually try and punish the Vex, and every time Jay gets pushed underneath Terra, Xiaohu's just showing up to put even more pressure on him, like keeping this little bit of push power underneath the turret. Wei's trying to flank, and JinJiao
goes for some quickness and definitely found some charms, but there is no follow-up so far. Ming, fairly low on health, but has that thick skin still, remember. Xiaohu has flashes. Jay tries to 1v1 him in the pit, but he dodges everything. Rocket onto Eric in the meantime. As RNG, look at Xiaohu 2v1ing in the pit. Has to flash out eventually, but dodging so much already. And now RNG, they get 3 neutral objectives for themselves. And we came into this series, Dagda, saying, you know, RNG, they love to play for the Herald. They love to play for early towers, but they generally don't play for the Drake. Well, here against LGD, they're like, you know what? Why not have our cake and eat it? We'll play for Drakes and for Heralds.
Yeah, if you're winning everywhere on the map, you might as well. Like 2 dragons across, Rift Arrow got across. Bin now?
All in on the top side. Maybe Bin's in trouble. Knocks Fearness away. That's all 3 Needleworks. And with the Needleworks down, that's all that we're going to see on the fight. Shock Blast available. Fearness trying to clear this ward, but Ben just going to use it onto the wave. Just going to go for a reset himself.
Yeah, I mean, Xiaohu is fully pushed in mid. Xiaohu just going to pop up here with Wei. Yeah, that'll be first tower, which is why we're seeing Bin quickly shove that wave. Wanted to make sure that he could move downriver. 1, to support this play in mid if needs be, but 2, just to make sure that he wasn't having any sort of play from Shadow made towards him. So nice job from Bin to respect the potential answer from Shadow. And yeah, this game's gone from bad to worse real quick. All starting with Shadow getting caught out in river and RNG snowballing from there.
Look at Xiaohu's gold. He's 1,500 gold up individually. At 13 minutes into the game, as Eric nearly dies on the bottom side, knockup comes on through from Ming. Eric goes down. Ming having to tank up the tower as they go for JinJiao as well.
Oh,
but
no.
Xiaohu behind enemy lines. He'll finish off yet another kill for himself. 2-0-0. 5 plates taken in the mid lane and the first tower gold for him, as well as plates now down in the bottom side. Xiaohu is as big as I'm pretty sure it's possible to be this early.
I mean, the Emperor's domain is here. This is just Xiaohu's game. I mean, so much gold. Luden's Tempest already completed. The ability to start playing down towards basically, well, the bot lane if they want to, but almost everywhere. I mean, for Xiaohu as well, kind of a bit of a revenge onto JinJiao as well, who played a little bit towards his lane in the early stages, and Xiaohu's like, oh, wait, yeah, I can move to you as well, JinJiao. We can get this back, but nice job here from Ming and Gala, playing really well on the edge of this. Gala, you can see there, just barely being able to move away from the quickness, so then he doesn't actually get caught underneath the tower, especially since he was tanking to begin with. So the RNG bot lane setting that up really well.
I feel like Gala has become such a great AD carry as well. I remember last year being really skeptical of Gala in spring, and I feel like I was never really willing to credit Gala for a lot of what RNG were doing last year because Ming was having such an insane year. Wei finds a 1v1 against the enemy top laner and wins it comfortably. He's not even lost health just yet. Fearness under the tower. Bin can move on over and finish this little last hit. Wei happy to let that go over to his top laner. Shadow trying to answer. Bin forced to flash. He's tanking the tower. Oh no, it's a disaster. I'm not even sure how he managed to get aggro there. Maybe the last tick of the W.
Yeah, I'm not really sure how he managed that. Not, like, I was kind of looking to see, you know, did he have a corrupting pot or something that could maybe, like, he'd accidentally dealt damage, but no, I don't know how he managed to get that. But either way, kill for kill, and Big Wave lost that top lane turret, bot lane turret going across.
He's running phase rush. It could have been Scorch potentially. The runes are gone while the character's dead, so I can't even see what runes he's running. I think he might be running.
I think he's on Conqueror. I thought he saw him take Conqueror, but I'm not 100%. But yeah, maybe that's the case. That could definitely be a phase rush. So yeah,
okay,
probably a Scorch angle.
Okay, well, we figured it out. Well, here we go. We can find out for real.
Yeah, so I love the way we kind of get the, hey, guess how much health Fearness has left. As way just like one comment, we're like, oh, that was a lot more damage. But yeah, so has the W here. Oh, okay, so there was. He was in range when the W was. So, I mean, we'll make good detectives one day. We should probably just go with the simple answer first, though, you know?
I did say that. That was my first answer, but I just didn't commit to it. I wasn't willing to commit to it. RNG now swapping Gala and Ming to the mid lane as Xiaohu finishes his second tower of the game. That's all 3 tier 1s knocked down. That's 1 per 5 minutes of the game here for RNG so far. Not showing any signs of slowing down because they've got a Herald in the hands of Wei. You can see his glowing purple claws. See where they're going to drop that one, because honestly, they have options. I would say it depends where they can find a pick or where they can find an opening as opposed to just slamming it in a lane, particularly with plates already gone.
Yeah, I mean, they've already kind of pushed inside lane, so they will slowly collapse, but I think it is just a case of, look, either we use it mid to get priority here for... Oh my
god!
Yeah. Jesus.
It's 16 minutes! Jayce isn't meant to do that yet!
I mean, he's an item and a half. I mean, at this stage, is it really a surprise here that RNG hurt like a truck? Ming, trying to see what he can guess.
I mean, it was a surprise to beat Dagda, that's for sure. Bid is 3 levels up on Eric, and Eric is feeling that big time. Follow up from RNG as they try and force the fight. In they go. Bear slams down. JinJiao dashes on out, though. Bird better than Bear. That's our learnings for today. As Eric just ventured into the enemy jungle to find a recall.
They still have to Rift Herald as well. That's 3 dragons with no contests, 2 Rift Heralds with no contests, and you still have the opportunity to use this Rift Herald with tier 2s, the ones that are only left standing. All the tier 1s are gone. Like, this is a masterclass. And fortunately, LGD, this is kind of what you left yourselves with for the end of the season. It's an absolute uphill battle, and fortunately, you just don't have the power in your legs to get that bike up there.
And the thing is, like, we've got a CS lead in every lane for RNG on all 3 of the carries. But the positive for LGD is Shadow has a CS lead and JinJiao has a CS lead. So, some hot jungle diff in favor of LGD, perhaps. I'm looking for silver linings here because RNG are so insanely strong.
Wait, there's a support jungle diff.
Stopwatches. There's a triple shockwave from Xiaohu. And the fight is looking dire for LGD. Time for cleanup. As Fearness is only just arriving, but he's late to the party. Wei trying to chase them down. Flashes forward to get the stun. And that'll be a kill for Bin on top. Everything going the way of RNG. And I mean, this is just beautiful gameplay. This is just immaculate League of Legends from the boys in black and gold.
And now they get to move, well, I was going to say they move raid and pop down this Rift Herald if they want, but looks like they're not going to go for it. It is going to time it soon, so maybe we'll have to use it, but I mean, you were nearly there, Munch. I had actually started to believe in the jungle support diff here, because this was a jungle support matchup to begin with, and then Xiaohu just makes it very unfair. Moving up here, using that insane goal lead he has, triple shockwave into the command distance, half the health bars are already gone, and now you got the entire cavalry of RNG showing up to put LGD.
I mean, we're at the point in the game now where it's like, I want to say Xiaohu's the MVP because he's had such an insane performance on this Orianna, but Wei has also had a mental game, right? Wei has performed so well across the other game, obviously setting up that pick in the first place that got Xiaohu ahead. But then you see triple shockwaves like that. You see him literally do 3 players, half of their health, right off of the bat. Imagine if Bin is in position to shock blast off the back of that as well. Like, the fight is already over there. Imagine if Gala can find a rocket. Like, it's not getting any easier because, again, like, we revisit the conversation of scaling that we opened up earlier on. This is Orianna Jinx. Like, this doesn't get any easier to fight against.
No, it does not. And I will say, I think for Wei, kind of come back to that conversation, it seems to me like Wei is a player that needs that definitive direction of how the team is. Like, we saw when he was back on E-Star, it was like, we are playing around Xiaohu and Co in the bot lane. Like, we're 100% going to be in there. Wei would like level 3 gank in the game. With RNG, it was we are playing around Xiaohu. Wei was very good at playing around. At the start of this bit for RNG, Wei was a little bit lackluster because I felt like RNG hadn't really decided on what their identity was. But now that Wei has a definitive place on identity to play around, he looks so much better.
Zhao actually using the quickness there. Didn't get much out of it though. That's kind of a big cooldown with Drake coming up in 1:20. All right, Dagda, let's do it. Let's set up the dream scenario. What has to happen for LGD to have a chance at this Drake? Like, paint the perfect picture of how this can go for LGD to be able to get a fight while they're 8,000 gold down at 21 minutes.
RNG all stand on top of each other perfectly. For some reason, they decide that they want to depth rush on Pixel. You get JinJiao with the perfect knock, where Jay is able to get the Shadow Surge, Personal Space, his full combo off. The Fear is layered perfectly with the quickness and the lockup from JinJiao, so then you have enough time for Fearness to get all 5 of his needle threads through the entirety of RNG, and Ming is never able to get off any of the Devourers. I think that's the one
Eric
scenario.
has a Moonlight Vigil with the Inferno as well.
Inferno is just like blow them up. Yeah.
Or, alternatively, Eric gets caught in the mid lane. Will be able to survive, but that's his Gale Force down just as Drake is coming on up here. Priority for RNG. Let's see if the perfect combo can happen for LGD. Shadow tanks a Shock Blast, but he's happy to. There's a bit of Honey Fruit there. Positives for LGD. We're looking for positives for LGD here, guys. JinJiao getting caught by Bin and almost one shot is not the positives we're looking for. Eric getting absolutely bodied in the meantime by Gala. Drake now started off, but hey, LGD have vision of this happening. Well, there's a control ward, so they don't anymore. Positives for LGD. What can I say here? LGD actually resetting first, so they'll have tempo on the next play on the map. Positives.
LGD are positively screwed because now you've got the Hextech Dragon. So for RNG, they already had massive control over the Rift. They are about to take the mid lane tier 2. Your tempo advantage is going to be used to clear out the waves that are already crashing into you. And you now are looking down the barrel at 23 minutes into the game. A 3-item Jinx, a 3-item Orianna, a 3-item Jayce. And you are struggling to finish the second one.
Do Baron right now. They're resetting. This is the only chance you get to do anything all game. Do Baron right now. I'm telling you. It's completely doomed, but it's the only flip you have available to you. It doesn't look like they're going to make a play back there, but JinJiao pops the blast cone. Will get spotted. Will get tagged by a little bit of lightning. And, well, I don't think it would have been a good window to try and do Baron, but it was a window.
It might have been a window, but it might have also just been one of those ones that's like painted onto a wall that you think is real and actually isn't. And then you know.
So what you're saying is I'm the Wile E. Coyote of shot calling.
Yeah, exactly. Because I don't even know if they have the damage, honestly, to do this. Like, at this stage, I feel like with the ability for RNG to just show up and kind of accelerated shock blast them out of the equation with Bin. I don't know if it would have been able to. JinJiao now, very much going to die.
I will say, JinJiao dashes away. We're talking about Roadrunner. He's got feathers. JinJiao has feathers, but Wei certainly has movement speed with the Kemp tag. Let's see if he can close the gaps. Jay trying to clear away, flashes away, dodges the shockwave. Another positive for LGD. That's a big cooldown from Xiaohu. Look, I'm trying my best, guys, but
I don't even know if it is a big like cooldown. It's like quarter of the way done at this stage. Like, it's just
But he has forced Xiaohu to sell his corrupting potions.
That is true.
Okay, here we go. Quickness. JinJiao goes in and immediately is practically one shot. The rocket flashed away from. Nicely done there by JinJiao. Eric, in the meantime, gets annihilated under the tower. Let's see a Shadow Surge. Come on, Jay. Make it happen. In he goes onto Gala. Tries to finish the kill, but he's exhausted. and annihilated, eviscerated, demolished by RNG. The Baron will be theirs, and Dagda, it's a 10,000 gold lead as RNG. They're basically doing victory laps.
And what's our positive for LGD here? I need to know where we're going.
The positive for LGD.
JinJiao steals Baron. I'm ready.
This.
JinJiao steals Baron.
Well, I wouldn't be so confident on that one, Dagda.
Fearness
I don't think he's going to steal the Baron. The positive is that after 2 games like this, LGD will get to go home early and have some hot pot themselves. That's the positive.
I just feel bad for LGD fans. I mean, this is a team that was such a storied org in the LPL, and kind of to see the slow, steady fall, just it's so heartbreaking. Especially when you look towards how much faith those fans have still in this team, and like, you know, it's a bunch of rookies, we can make it work, or oh, we're bringing it back together. You then look at them go up against an organization like Orange. This is just not.
Yeah, it is a brutal way to end the playoffs by ability as well, right? This is the team you have to face as you're on your last available loss before just removed from playoffs competition. It's a brutal way to go, but that's the nature of a round robin. You needed to win earlier on in the split if you wanted to have a chance later on. Just the way that it goes. And now RNG.
Sorry. I think technically they can still hit playoffs. With the very similar scenario to the Rare Atom FTX triple tiebreaker things, I believe.
I don't think they can if they get to 10 losses. I'm pretty sure it's due.
Oh, actually, no, because
Anyway, we've got an engage. Shadow Surge going to come on through. There's an Infernum across the team. Gala low on HP, taken out by Fearness. Is this the fight? No, it's not! No, it is not! Xiaohu says no! Bin chases JinJiao down into the base as RNG, no, scratch that, Xiaohu annihilates LGD.
That was disgusting. We're talking about maybe if LGD have a chance of playoffs, and Xiaohu's just like, sorry, do you know who I am? Do you know what I do in these games? I put you in the dirt, and I bring my team these wins.
I am the Emperor of Spring, says Xiaohu. This is my area. This is where I reign. It's my kingdom. It's going to be LGD going down in game number 1. It's RNG. I mean, one tiny glimmer of hope at the end there for LGD, and Xiaohu just snuffs it out like putting out a candle. That was brutal, and a quadra kill to round it out. Any conversations of Wei getting MVP are now gone. It's Xiaohu's.
Yeah, it's just straight up Xiaohu. Xiaohu diff reigns supreme for RNG, whether it's last year or whether it's this year. The man is absolutely insane at League of Legends. And I'm so glad that we get to cast him.
You remember like a month ago or 2 months ago when people were like, wait, Xiaohu's going back to the mid lane? No way this guy can play mid lane anymore. He's washed. It's not happening. RNG are going to suck. Remember those conversations?
Yeah.
That was a good time.
Yeah.
I remember that. I don't think they were accurate. You know.
No.
I feel like he's doing okay.
And I remember those same conversations in spring 2021. You know, the same time when RNG won MSI, saying, you know, Xiaohu, no way he's gonna do it. No, he's gonna be able to carry RNG. But here we are, 2 years on the trot. Xiaohu diff is a very real thing that you have to be aware of, and unfortunately for Jay, I definitely feel like he learned a lot in this game.
Oh my god.
With Jesus, oh my god, Jay, that damage.
He's the biggest mid diff I've ever seen. I think. Jesus Christ.
He has a family. Why would
I
you
have
do
no
it?
positives. I have been trying so hard to big up Jay, to like sing the praise of LGD, to give you guys a reason to believe in LGD. I have nothing left. This damage chart has ended it all.
Yeah. I don't really know what to say, to be honest. I'm kind of hoping that maybe I'll find a DreamWorks movie that can tell this story better, but I don't know if that's even going to be there. This was brutal. This was stomp from start to finish. I think the draft from LGD didn't help to a certain extent. Looking for, again, those silver linings. The early pick Gwen, you just can't do it anymore. There's just too many answers. The Jayces, the Akalis, the Nars even are all doing too much, and giving the 2 winning lanes and then the Xiaohu diff 3rd winning lane means that you just don't have control over the map for LGD. It just makes this game so hard to do.
Absolutely zero control from LGD and complete and utter domination from RNG. This is ultimately the way that you should expect this series to go, but still, it's still kind of